your password.
I know, right? I was like, no, don't log in. Okay, hi everyone, Jen Amos here, and I'm here with Melissa Ramos Hiatt, and we're gonna get started in just about a couple seconds. What I'm gonna do is share this live video. So I know you posted it on your page, right?
Yeah.
Or, so I'm gonna link this video onto your page as well as mine, and go from there. So in case you guys hear any noisiness in the background. If you guys hear any noisiness in the background, it's because I brought my puppy here, and he's only about 3 months old, and I brought him here so my brother can let me use his space. So thank you, John and Chang, for letting us use your space. At the end of the interview, I'll show the puppy if you guys really want to see him. But hey, thanks for entering the room. Let me go ahead and share this video. Give me 1 second. Share. Okay, I'm going to say, and we are live on the Filipino American Woman with Melissa Ramos Hiatt. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to share this on, well, I look funny in this image right here. It's funny. Okay, hey everyone. We're going to get started in just a second. I just want to be able to share this. In case you guys are wondering why I'm looking down, I have to do this every interview so people don't think I'm being neglectful or anything. But this is my laptop, and I'm going to be just kind of facilitating the interview today. And so when I'm looking down, it's probably because I'm checking to see if anyone left any comments in the room, or just making sure our technology is running smoothly, because that can be an issue sometimes. Let's see, watch now here. And so I'm going to post this video on your comment that you just posted. So, okay, great. Yay! Okay, all right, I'm going to get started now. So, hey everyone, welcome to the Filipino American Woman.com. You can find us on Facebook at the Filipino American Woman. My name is Jen Amos. I am just, your co-host today, really. I'm here with Melissa Ramos Hiatt, and she is a business owner and a blogger, as well as a mother of 3. So, hey there, thanks for entering the room and joining us. I always say that whenever there's like an extra person up there. Thanks for joining us. We are just about ready to get started with our interview. Just so you know, the Filipino American Woman is a new community where we focus on right now we're on a Facebook Live campaign. We want to do 100 Facebook Live videos sharing everyday stories of the Filipino American woman to connect all of us together, essentially. So a couple things that you should know about this show is that we are doing this live. So you are part of this interview just as much as we are. So hey there, thanks for joining the room. I see that there's 4 people in the room. So if you're here, just kind of like in the comments, let us know that you can hear us, first of all, because that's always important. And you're here and you're ready and ready to join us. But as I mentioned, this is Facebook Live, so you're just part of this interview as much as we are. My brother and Chang are here in the back. Hey, Laura! So they're probably going to make some comments too, and I apologize in advance. My puppy is here also, so you're going to enjoy that as well, kind of running around and eating all of my brother and Chang's toys right now. And also, just so you know, we are also live streaming, and so anything can happen. So please, your feedback is very crucial in case the technology isn't working, and in case we freeze for whatever reason. But that's the beauty of Facebook Live, is you're seeing this raw. You're seeing my puppy walk on the floor right now, and we're trying to get his attention, so sorry. And so please join us in the conversation today. And just so you know, the FilipinoAmericanWoman.com is sponsored by Social Turtles Marketing. It's my own marketing company that I've been running for a number of years now. And as a Filipino American woman, it's a pleasure to be able to serve in this way. So I just want to thank you for your support. So hey, Angela, thanks for joining the room. Oh my gosh, our girlfriends are supporting us this morning. And so with that said, let's go ahead and jump into the interview. So as I said, I'm here with Melissa Ramos Hiatt, and she is a business owner, a blogger, as well as a mother of 3, and her oldest is 12. Is that correct?
Yes, she's
12. So wow, you don't even look like you have a 12-year-old. You look so youthful for your age, so I just thought I should start with that. So why don't you start by telling us, how did you hear about the Filipino American Woman and what made you want to get involved?
I heard about it through the Filipino bloggers network.
Okay.
And you reached out and asked for, the daughter of immigrant parents.
Right.
And, usually I don't really jump on these opportunities,
Right.
mainly because I tend to be more reserved. But,
Right.
I realize that everybody's stories are different. So I
Right.
thought it would be a good opportunity to share mine.
Yeah, well, I think that's beautiful. And just to kind of like add on what you said, I have some moments, and this is not about my story, but I had some moments here and there throughout the years where it's like, okay, do I want people to know that I'm Filipino? I'm so immersed in the American culture. And the only reason, why people ask me what I am is because when you're in a culture of, not Filipinos, you tend to get asked a lot, what's your ethnicity,
Right.
So anyway, I want to thank you for, feeling like you felt called to being here and at least sharing your story. It means a lot to me. Yeah, and I think it means a lot to everyone that's watching today. So hey, Angela, she said hey with a V or very first, and then she said oops hey. So just want to let you know that I see that. So why don't you tell us what does a typical day look like for you as a mom? I mean, I'm sure it's not even typical. So
yeah. Well, okay. So if I am training for a race, I'll get up at 4:45 in the morning.
Oh wow.
I'll eat and run, and then I'll get home, prepare lunch for the kids. If I have to be at church that day to play music, I'll get my stuff ready. I'll have to drop the kids off to school. And then I work. My husband and I, we own a business together, and we both work from home. And,
that's awesome. Wow.
And
my future, guys. My future.
Yeah, and it gives us that flexibility.
Yeah.
And then pick up the kids, and then anything after school, whether it's sports or if it's my prayer group that I go to, or any other volunteer activities. That's what happens after 5 usually.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you start. So you mentioned there's two things that you mentioned I wanted to tap on. So the first one is you start your day by running.
Yeah.
So what type of races do you run?
Lately, just half marathons.
Okay. So
it's been a while. I mean, I ran my the Carlsbad half marathon, and it's been like a 2-year span since I ran the previous half marathon, just because I had a baby between then. And,
right. Wow, that's awesome.
But
I don't
just
like
recovery.
marathons.
Hey, you never know.
I run Spartan races just because it's short. It's like 3 miles or 5K and a number of obstacles and I'm done. But if I just run, it's I don't know, I get bored in my head or something. Even though I used to be a long distance runner when I was in high school. But anyway, that's aside from the point. But that's really awesome. So have you been running half marathons for a very long time? Or?
I'd say since 2011.
Oh, okay, yeah,
2012, 2011. So
yeah, that's awesome. And so that's only a couple years. What kind of made you decide to get into that in 2011?
Well, I liked running. I mean, I usually ran around a track just for fun or on a treadmill. Then my friends started to run half marathons, and I said, "Hey, if they can do it, I can do it."
Yeah,
And so they allowed me to join them in their runs. And,
awesome!
It's been fun. I mean, I started off with the mud run, which was awesome.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because I like the obstacle course. I like the more physical things too, just like you.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's there's a variety. You know? And then you get messy, so it looks great for the pictures. And you're like, yeah, I did something tough today.
Yes.
And then you also mentioned that you do music as well. So are you a singer or do you do
Yes,
instruments?
I'm a pianist and a singer.
Oh, that's so awesome.
I can play the guitar. I mean, if there's no piano around, I'll bring a guitar and play it. But yeah, mostly piano and singing. And I play for a daily mass on Mondays when the music director is out, and I fill in when she's on her day off.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'll fill in at church whenever they need me, again, when she has a day off. Or I also work a lot of retreats and provide music for the retreats.
Wow, that's awesome. I mean, even right now, I just recently started auditioning for a live band in a church in downtown.
Awesome.
And I just, I've never felt comfortable just singing for myself. So to kind of be able to be in a position to sing for God it's a completely different experience because you're not doing it for you, you're doing it for Him and and you're singing with the mass and everything.
Yes.
So have you been doing that for a long time?
Yes, actually. Gosh, I think I was in 3rd grade when I started in choir.
Oh gosh,
my
mom. That's a long time.
My mom was the children's choir director at our church, and so she brought me, my sister, and all our friends in there, And then I think about 5th grade was when I started accompanying the choir on the piano. So since I was 10, I've been playing the piano along with the choir. So.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah,
that's great. So, hey, Mike, thanks for oh, Mike is a good friend of mine. So, hey, thanks for your support and watching us today. I see we already have a question from Laura. I love how Laura is always commenting, by the way. So, Laura, shout out to you and always supporting our shows. So, Laura's question is. Hey, SDFBN, so I'm guessing that's San Diego Filipino Business, or bloggers, did I get it right?
Yeah.
Bloggers Network, okay, thank you. And so she's asking, what reasons do you have to keep your maiden name when you're married? kind of like off point, but yeah, do you want to answer that question?
You know, I usually don't go by Melissa Ramos Hiatt, just usually Melissa Hiatt. But on Facebook, I always put the Ramos in there because people search for Melissa Hiatt, and there is another Melissa Ramos, another Melissa Hiatt, who started in San Diego and is now living somewhere else in the country. And I get her emails because her Gmail address is like flipped from mine.
Oh my gosh, that's so
And so
funny.
like, you know, I'd get invites from her aunt in Carlsbad to go for dinner, and I'm like, maybe I should meet them sometime.
Yeah, you're like, you know, maybe I should just meet them and assume they're talking to me,
Yeah.
and then see what happens.
Yeah, I'm like getting their title for their I don't know. So I had to keep that distinction so people know it's me.
Yeah. Well, no, I think that's, you know, that's smart, you know, and even for me, like my name is Jennifer, my full name's Jennifer. And so I remember in 6th grade, there was like 7 Jennifers in our class. So we'd all have to go by Jennifer plus the initial of our last name. But even then it felt very, like I didn't feel unique in any way, or I felt like I didn't stand out. So now I just go by Jen Amos, and people remember me for that. And they call me by my full name, so thank you, friends. You guys branded me, so thank you for that.
You're not just a number anymore.
Yeah, I'm not just an initial anymore. I have a full name. Okay, great. Well, it sounds like you are so busy, and I think it's so beautiful that you and your husband are really living this dream that a lot of entrepreneurs want to live. You know, I mean, especially for me, I want to be able to do life with my spouse and you know, do it with my kids. Kind of shout out to Raquel as well, because I know she has 4 kids that she homeschools, and they all do jujitsu together. You know, and I just think like, wow, there's so many incredible mothers out there and families that just want to do life together. Where for me, growing up, it was very separate, only because my mom was a widow and she had to work and provide. So I just think it's beautiful how, you know, you and your husband are in a position to do life with your kids, your 3 kids, you know.
Yes, we are very blessed in that respect.
Yeah, definitely. So, all right. Well, I know that you're involved with the San Diego Filipino Bloggers Network. Is there anything else you're involved in the community regarding the Filipino community, or any other community that you feel passionate about?
Nothing so much in the Filipino community, mainly because I feel like since I moved away from my parents, it's like that I kind of left that all behind me, and I'm not in that area where most Filipinos are. However, at my parish, there is a Filipino community, and they're like, "Come on and join." And I said, "Well, when are your meetings?" "Oh, sometimes it's, you know, on Sundays, and sometimes I'm like, I'm a busy person. I'm a busy person, and you need to give me a set time so I can put it in my calendar." But they're getting better about it, but I just find myself a little too busy to join in.
Yeah, you know, busy, and you want certainty, you know. And if they're going to be kind of like, oh, well, maybe, we're not sure, you're kind of like, okay, I'm a mother, I'm a business owner, I'm a blogger, I don't got time for that, you know. So, hey, Elizabeth, thanks for joining us. Good to see you. Thanks for commenting in the room. In case anyone's wondering, my brother is dog-sitting my puppy, so he's going to come. He's really excited right now. He's kind of running around, so just... I apologize in advance. I'm not a mother, but I feel like this is kind of a sense of feeling like a mother and hoping he's okay. And, okay, can you take him away? You can pick him up. It's fine. So this is my puppy, everyone, and I'll show you maybe toward the end, and I don't want to make it about the puppy. So, okay. So, all right. So, you know, so you mentioned that, you know, the main thing you're involved with is the San Diego Filipino business bloggers, or San Diego Filipino Bloggers Network, sorry. Yes. And so kind of tapping into just being being a Filipino American woman. Do you feel like you had a unique experience in America being a Filipino American woman?
Gosh, it's so hard to say if it was unique or not, but where my mother came here. She was sponsored by her father, who worked for the U.S. government.
Oh, okay.
And then my dad came here via the Navy, which I think it's a lot of similarities with a lot of Filipino American women.
Yeah, my dad was in the military as well. He was an engineer, so to all the military babies.
Military, yeah. So we're Navy brats or military brats.
There you go. Yeah,
and, the Navy exchange in the commissary with your dad. It's
awesome.
Oh
yeah, no taxes.
And so. My mom wasn't a nurse. She worked in. She was a med tech, and she worked. So she worked at midnight. So she worked the graveyard shift, and my dad would work from like 5 to 3, and they were with us from when we were after school until we went to sleep. So we saw both of them all the time, so which was nice.
Yeah.
And I, it's. Thinking about it now, it's like they did what they had to do to raise me and my sister. And even if it was like awful hours. My mom coming home at 6 a.m. was not,
So your parents would like trade off basically.
Yeah.
So you always saw at least like one parent.
One of them,
which
at
is
least.
Really awesome.
Yeah, and then they'd be together for dinner, and then, my mom would sleep early so she can get up at 11 to go to the hospital.
Right.
And with her not being a nurse, it was pretty stable like that because she had her hours.
Yeah.
But where we lived, we didn't live around a lot of Filipinos. Our next door neighbor was Filipino, but they were an older couple. All their kids were grown up, so there wasn't really this interaction with me and them. We'll just say hi. Our neighborhood, we lived in Southeast San Diego, so we had mostly Black and Hispanics in our neighborhood.
I see. Yeah.
And in my grade school, that's where a little bit more Filipinos were because a Catholic school, and it was fairly inexpensive because it's that area. It's a little lower income community, and so it was cheaper to send your kids to that school, and still get a Catholic education.
Oh, that's good.
And so that's where I got my Filipino exposure.
Right. So kind of like as you got older.
Yeah, as I got older, I got the exposure, and then. My friend Joyelle and her family, the Cabatos, they run the Pasaka Philippine dance troupe, and so they said we're restarting our juniors dance group, so why don't you join? And so my sister and we joined.
Oh, that's awesome!
So that's how we got really exposed to the Filipino community and something beyond what our environment was.
Yeah.
And but other than that, it's just just living like this dichotomy where there's you're with the Black and Hispanic community mostly, and then there's all of a sudden you're just entrenched in just all Filipinos all the time. It's like I didn't know where to place myself a lot.
Right.
So,
definitely. Yeah, I know. I think it's shout out to Pasaka, because I know they've been around forever, like 20 plus years now.
More than that.
Probably more than that. Because I know I have some friends who their kids are part of the dance troupe now, and it's like, wow, like it's so cool to see like 3-4 generations of Filipinos going through that.
Right.
So, and then I know you mentioned in our Facebook group that one thing that we are going to be talking about in the future is how our sponsors for our show can donate 10% of their proceeds to a nonprofit, and we were talking about possibly donating to Pasaka. So if anyone's watching, maybe hold us accountable. I don't know, maybe we'll forget. I'm just kidding. But so really quick here, I see we have some people that entered the room. So hey, Melody Tao, she's someone that I work with, and her nickname is Marketing Melody. She's super awesome. So thank you, Melody, for for watching my show today. I feel so honored because she has her show every Wednesday, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's watching my show. I'm like slightly nervous, but not really. I'm just joking. And hey, Angela, thanks for. So she says here, same Liza. Beth, thanks for being in the room again. She says here, my parent did the same when I was little. Mom worked during the day and dad worked during the night. So talk about a team effort, like I think that's so awesome when, I don't have kids yet, but having a puppy is like, and my boyfriend and I are self-employed, so we're always like, okay, who's going to watch a puppy? Are you going to watch a puppy? Like, okay, are you going to be home or am I going to be home? Like, because otherwise we're just like, okay, who's going to watch this puppy? Because right now he gets like separation anxiety, but it's really cool to kind of like play as a team, what your parents did and now what you're doing for your kids in a way, which is pretty awesome. So, And then also there was another thing I wanted to mention. Oh, you mentioned you have a sister. Are you the older sister or the younger sister?
No, it's kind of funny because I know your past interviews there was always the oldest sister.
Yeah.
I'm the younger sister. So
what's the age?
You know, it's only 15 months.
Oh, okay.
So
it's not that big of a deal.
the funny thing is that because there wasn't such a big age gap, there wasn't like this older sister has to take care of the younger sister.
Right.
My parents pretty much raised us as twins. And
Nice,
and even growing up, going to school, people thought we were twins because we were always together. Even in high school, you know, people thought we were twins, and they didn't know that we weren't twins until she graduated and I was left back. They're like, "What happened to you? I thought you were smart."
They're like, "Are you repeating a grade?" Like, I don't mean to bring it up, but yeah.
I'm like, she's older, so
Yeah.
So
That's crazy.
we never really had that experience, so we went through everything together.
Oh, that's so awesome.
You know, of course we fought. You know, sisters always fight.
Yeah, definitely.
But we didn't have the whole motherly role that
Right.
typically an older sister would take, which I would see in my friends who are the oldest siblings.
Yeah, like Angela. I know Angela's in the room, and she's the eldest of 4, and then I'm a middle child, but my mom always treated me like the oldest because I was the oldest daughter, and so I definitely kind of felt that motherly figure with my sister. But it's kind of funny because my sister is more lean than I am, and I'm a little thicker, not like fat. I don't think I'm fat. Okay, I don't have any self-conscious issues. You guys don't have to go there with me. But it's funny because people would always think she was the older one because she was leaner and she just she had more of a style, like a New York style than I did. I was very just loose clothing and stuff like that. But no, I think that's awesome how you and your sister did life together. And now that my sister is in her mid-20s, we're pretty much like equals, and we treat each other equally and with respect. So I see Laura commented in the room, so I'm going to kind of go back and forth and make sure that we're participating. So I just want to thank everyone for commenting because you're just part of this interview as much as we are, and we're just here having a discussion about being a Filipino American woman, which is awesome. So Laura here says Filipinos are family oriented, which I completely agree with you. 2 or 4-legged, we don't discriminate. Me and my sister are 15 months apart too.
Oh,
did you know that?
Awesome! I did not know that.
So
shout out to Laura.
New thing that we always learn about. We always learn something new, and we get to kind of deep digger into some people's stories. So I think that's super awesome. Now you mentioned that your dad, he was in the Navy, and so how was kind of like that experience? Actually, you kind of already touched upon it, so I think I'm just going to kind of skip this. But did you feel that there was like kind of a unique experience, like having your parents coming from the Philippines and then you being raised here as an American?
I don't know how unique it is, but I knew they came from the Philippines, and they really wanted us to be Americanized. I mean, they spoke Tagalog to us. They really wanted us to know our roots, and hence is the reason why they put us in like Pasaka.
Right.
And we would get our experience from family members, a lot in the beginning, mostly from my mother's side, because they came to the U.S. first, and then my dad petitioned everybody from his family to come here. But and it's the interesting thing is that when my dad petitioned his family to the United States, they came like not speaking English very well. It was all Tagalog. They stayed with us before they found a home. So, we were like the middle ground, like the transitional shelter.
Yeah.
The transitional shelter.
In your home.
Yeah, so we're always like, there would be like every year, always some kind of new family member coming in, staying with us. One of the rooms had 2 bunk beds, and, there would be people in there.
That is awesome.
And then, we were, it was interesting because you get a feeling of, okay, it's the Philippines, and they're working hard to come here, and just going through the motions with them of getting cars, getting licenses, finding a place to live for them. You just get the immigrant experience, just kind of as a viewer.
Did you ever count how many family members were in the household at one point? Because it sounds like there was a lot.
Oh my gosh! Let me think. I think there would probably be at least 12 of us at the
Oh,
most
my
in
goodness.
our 4-bedroom house.
Wow.
You know, my
that's just
sister and I shared a
amazing.
room, and then everybody else shared a room or two. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's
Well, I mean that. I think for me, I think that's just a unique experience because I mean the most that we had in our house was my grandparents, and that was that. I mean, it was still crowded having them, and then my 3 siblings and my mom.
Right.
But I mean, 12 in like at one point, I don't know. I mean, I had a time where my independence was really important to me. So, you know, to have like to be just, you know, did it ever feel suffocating anywhere, or just was it kind of normal at the time?
I think it was normal, and I think my parents enjoyed it.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
they liked being around the family. My dad loves cooking, so
Yeah.
he would cook these big meals, and he still cooks big meals, even though it's only him, my mom,
Yeah.
and my nephew over there at their house.
Right.
And so they like, and I think that goes for a lot of Filipinos. It's very much hospitality oriented.
Yes, yeah, I
And,
agree with you.
So, you know, they welcome their home, they open their home, and you know, even my mom would open our home to her friends' kids who are having a hard time, which, you know, caused some issues. You know, we're like, this guy needs to get out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he needs help.
Yeah, this is not a nonprofit.
I know.
You know? Like, we are not therapists.
Yes,
like,
I'm like, he needs to go where he needs to go. I'm like, now.
just because he's family, you know,
Yeah.
like we got to step it up, y'all, and just kind of break it to him, break it
Right.
to news, you know. So no, I mean, I think that's incredible, and it's I mean, even today, like my mom, when I visit my mom, and she won't have a lot of food, 'cause, you know, she cooks for herself now, but she'll be like, take this banana, or take this orange, or, you know, I still have like rice. I was like, okay, well, do you have any more? She's like, no, but I can make some more. You can take all that, you know. And she's always texting me pictures of food that she has. So she's like, oh, whenever you come to my place, feel free to take some food with you. I'm not even there, you know.
Right.
She's like, come over. And I just love how, you know, my mom has that. And I guess, you know, it's very much, it seems very common in the Filipino culture to be hospitable and constantly, you know, want to give. And so it's pretty awesome. We have a number of comments in the room already, so this is really cool. I'm going to read a couple of your comments here. So Josephine, that's my sister's name. You have my sister's name, Josephine. So she says, a lot of Filipino families have large families. I am 9 out of 10 kids.
Yes, that's my cousin.
Oh my
Cousin Josephine.
goodness. I thought 3 was a lot. Okay, just wow.
And her family's amazing, by the way.
Cool. Okay, well, shout out to your amazing family. So she says, let everyone know how many kids Grandma and Grandpa had.
Oh, yeah, they had 12.
12.
They had
Are
12
you
kids.
kidding me? That
And I
is
think
crazy.
8 pretty much survived until adulthood. So
Okay.
it was,
I
12.
see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, now that you brought that up, I just remembered another question I had. So all the family that lived in your household, like, what are most of them typically up to today? Like, are they all like homeowners now, or like, are they doing well here in the States?
Yeah, I think they're homeowners. I think the kids, my cousins, they're doing well. Like they found jobs. They're going to
that's
school, and or they're just making their way, and really assimilated into the American way of life, I guess.
That's awesome.
If you would consider it that way. You know?
Yeah. You know, they made a living for themselves here. You know, so that's really great to hear. Other than that one child that was like, okay, y'all, we need to have a talk.
But that was my mom's friend, so he wasn't related.
Oh, he wasn't even related?
Yeah,
oh my gosh, we are so hospitable. We welcome anyone, even if they're not related to us. It's what we do. So, Angela here says, Josephine, I just had a conversation with my daughter about how many kids my husband's grandpa had. She said, one mom and dad had 9 babies. Wow. And then Elizabeth says, many of my aunts and uncles came through our home growing up also. That's awesome, Elizabeth. Learning that was a way to help my family. A few of my cousins lived with me as well as they were getting established. So I think that's amazing. You know, the greatest network you can build is with your family, you know, and giving them that space, especially if you're the trailblazers here in the U.S., like, you know, bring your family through the household, you know. So I think I commend you both, you, Melissa, and Elizabeth, for doing that. Angela says, my grandma and cousins lives with us at one point too. Elizabeth says, it's funny, there's this whole chat going on in the room. I feel like there's this whole chat going on and we're not like part of it. I feel left out all of a sudden. But no, I'm just joking. Angela says, my grandma and cousins live with us at one point. Elizabeth says, yes, Angela, my grandma had 12 kids. Jeez, 12 kids. I can't even fathom that. Like, I can't even fathom having like one child yet. And I mean, I'm not a mom yet, so I have no idea. My boys are amazed. They cannot even imagine what it's like. And Josephine says, I live in, I don't know how to pronounce it, Kauai. So,
Yes.
so shout out to Hawaii. So aloha.
Aloha.
And Laura says aloha as well. So, so that's awesome. Thank you everyone for commenting in the room. I'm already off track, so I need to look at my questions and see what was the next thing I needed to ask. Okay, so here's the next question. Did you ever feel like it was a necessity to find balance in your Filipino and American counterparts?
Balance in the counter, like as far as my identity. Or?
Yeah, like did you ever? I mean, it sounds like you had a very healthy upbringing. It sounds like, or like you're very loved, you know. And so, and then when it seems like the questions I've been asking you, it's kind of like an off question for you. It doesn't seem natural, which is great because to me, I take that as she was loved. Like it sounded like she wasn't really held back on a lot of things, or she wasn't told she couldn't.
Right.
You know. So when I ask this question, I only ask it because. Have you ever kind of felt like there was a difference? And then if not, then, that's great too. So,
I never really felt a big difference until I entered high school.
Okay.
And high school, I went to probably like the roughest high school in San Diego. And
which one is that?
It's Lincoln High School.
Oh, okay. Lincoln.
And so
shout out to Lincoln High School if you went there.
Yeah,
I didn't, but shout out to y'all.
So there's there were gangs. There were things that I was not usually exposed to, and there were probably a handful of Filipinos there, and it was mostly again Black Latinos. A lot of East Asians that I never heard of until I went to high school, like Laotians, Hmongs. And, I mean, I heard Vietnamese. My best friend's Vietnamese, and I found her through high school. But it's it was a shock to me to feel like I was a real minority among minorities.
Right.
And,
interesting.
And so, have I ever used that to my advantage? Maybe. Of course, you get this stereotypical thing where it's like, oh, you're Asian, you're smart. You won't ever get in trouble.
I've never gotten straight A's. So if anyone that's like non-Asian is here, I never got straight A's. So just so you know. It's not true.
But, and so yeah, I did get away with some things, using my Asianness or my Filipino-ness, and just being a good kid, not causing too much trouble. The administrators are a little bit more lenient with me. As far as growing into adulthood, I was thinking about this question, and have I ever used my Filipino-ness and my woman-ness to my advantage? As a business owner, it looks good on paper because people want to do business with that diversity. Oh, that's a woman minority business owner, and so we use that to our advantage. Even though my husband is the other co-owner, and he's the whitest white can be. And he runs a lot of the business, and I'm the partner, and I do a lot. I mean, we both do a lot of work.
Right.
But it looks good on paper. But I don't make myself the face of that. But if people are looking for that kind of a business to do business with, they'll see my name. They'll be associated with me, and that Ramos part of the name is in there.
Yeah, definitely true, and I can kind of like attest to that as well. And you got to use everything you got. So it's not like you're taking advantage of people, but you're taking advantage of who you are, and in this case, we're Filipino American women, and we're in business, and some people find that attractive, and they want to collaborate, and why not, and it's not a way to, it's just a way to it's just another form of marketing, to say like, oh yeah, I want to work with that. I mean, even right now I'm working with a nonprofit that focuses on empowering, minorities or kids from low-income families on how to use digital marketing to their advantage, and it's specifically targeted toward them because the person that founded it, when he was working in a digital agency and in his universe, like he was the only Black person in the agency, so he felt that difference. So so obviously if you have the skin color and people like it, you can't deny it. It's like, oh no, I'm not Filipino. It's like, well, I am. So like if you like this, then let's work together.
But I also have a flip side to that, because when filling out college applications, so I applied to UCSD and all the schools, and I didn't get accepted into UCSD because they filled their quota of Filipinos.
Oh, that is so
And I'm like,
funny.
how is this possible? I said,
Yeah.
I graduated number 2 in my class. My SAT scores are
Are you
good.
kidding me?
And I'm like,
Wow.
how? And then I said, my friends who aren't even the top 10 got in. I said,
Yeah.
you know, this isn't merit based. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not, and it's obviously not. And it was
Right.
because there's a lot of Filipinos applying to go
Yeah.
to college. So, you know, so I still harbor bad feelings about that.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, really gave me a different perspective on life. You know, thinking, okay, so what does it mean to be Filipino in the United States?
Right.
I mean, have we come so far that we are taking the top spots,
Right.
and
right.
that there's no room for anybody else?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
and so, you know, I always think about that and think about how many other people were put in the same situation like me. I know my friend Dorothy she had the same experience too. They filled their
Wow.
quota, so you have to go somewhere else.
Well, that's so interesting. So if it's not a quota, then who else is welcome? You know,
Yeah,
and
right.
I find that really fascinating because, I mean, you know, if we look at it, like everyone's just trying to do good one way or the other, and that was just UCSD's
Yeah.
way of doing it. But it is pretty fascinating to find out that once they reach a certain number, like, okay, well, we filled it, we're good to go. And it's almost like it doesn't even matter, like you said, like your grades and where you were at and how intelligent you were. It was like, oh no, we have plenty of Filipinos here already.
Right.
And so what school did you end up going to?
I went to UC Irvine for a year.
Okay.
And there was like a ton of Filipinos.
Like,
a lot
oh,
of
we love
Asians.
them all.
Yeah, there's all these Asians over there.
Yeah, yeah.
But I only went there for a year, and then I decided that, you know, the major I had and like life situations, that's not where I wanted to be.
Mhm,
And so I
right.
just ended up going to a technical school here in San Diego.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
Well, that's interesting. My sister wanted to go to UCLA, and then that was like her dream school, and then she got denied, and that was really sad. But she went to UC Santa Barbara, and she loved it. I mean, they were next to the beach every day. Like, how can you not?
Yeah.
How can you not love that? Well, I think that's really interesting. That's the first time I've heard that kind of story where I mean, did they specifically say that?
No,
Or-
they didn't, but it was pretty obvious when you looked at who got in among your friends
Yeah.
and why you didn't get in, even though, you know, I did my best. I got straight A's, you know, and
Right.
whereas, you know, they didn't, you know, their grades weren't the best. They weren't as involved in things as I was, as in like volunteer activities or school sports or whatever. They still got in. So it's like, well, what is the reason? You know, there can't be any other reason if it's not merit based.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So if you did a process of elimination, that's
Yeah.
pretty much what it came down to. So, so we have some comments in the room. So thank you everyone for your engagement. So you can say, Elizabeth here says, yes, I had the same admissions experience. Crazy. But admissions doesn't do that anymore. So, and I know Elizabeth's a counselor, so she knows firsthand. So good to know.
Yes.
And she says, that was back when affirmative action was in place. Thank goodness colleges don't admit this way anymore.
good.
So good to know, Elizabeth. Thanks for
Yes.
updating us on the educational system today. So, all right, so let's move along. And I just love this. If you guys are enjoying the engagement so far, just press a like in the room. Let us know you're enjoying this. And also, you are part of this interview just as much as we are. So I want to thank everyone for commenting so far. And you're more than welcome to continue commenting because I will look. I'm looking on my on my laptop to see if you're commenting and kind of sharing it here. So, so now let's kind of chat about the Philippines. Since you did mention you got you were able to observe like the immigrant experience through your family. But have you yourself been to the Philippines before?
Yes, I went when I think I was 2 or 3. And the
Okay.
funny is that I remember a lot of it,
What?
being so young. And, and it was fun.
Uh-huh.
It was fun. And I went back when I was 10. And I still remember a lot of it. And I'm sure it's way different now, but
Right.
when we went, it was monsoon season, and it
Oh,
flooded.
wow.
All the streets were flooded, and my mom had to buy us boots there.
Oh my goodness.
And, the water was up to our shins, and fishes were floating around because their sewer system the drainage system isn't that great.
Oh, no.
But it was a really, really neat experience to see, how my relatives, they lived in a city, they owned a pizza parlor, and some fast food place, and they lived above their business.
Yes. Oh, that was my
yes,
family
yeah,
too.
they lived above their business, and then I think that used to be my grandmother's butcher shop, so they kind of inherited the home.
Nice.
And so my grandmother was a business owner too. So
Runs in the family,
Yes, it
y'all.
does. And then you get out. You'd hear in the morning the people pushing the carts. Selling the little fried or fried coconuts and balut.
Yeah, oh gosh.
And
I've never
pandesal.
had
Oh my
balut,
gosh.
but I know exactly what it looks like and what you're talking about.
Yes, and then we went to visit the family in the countryside where we actually slept in a bahay kubo.
Oh,
And
that's
so we slept in a nipa hut, and you could see through the bamboo slats on the floor all the pigs running around underneath you and the chickens, and you had to use an outhouse and
Right.
but it was really a neat experience, and I want my kids to experience that too. And I mean, I'm sure it's changed so much.
Yeah,
and I want to go back. I really do.
Yeah, I think I went a couple years ago in 2013 or 14 with a bunch of like other entrepreneurial or community leaders, and we saw the best as well as the worst of the Philippines. But in terms of speaking about like the best, I mean, in between the best and the worst, it's really modernized now. There's so many Filipino Americans that have dual citizenship to the Philippines, so they can do business like back and forth. But it's really awesome to have like a bunch of us coming back and giving back. Have your kids gone to the Philippines?
No,
not yet.
No, you know what? I think my husband is a little apprehensive. He's like, I'm gonna be the biggest white guy out there. He's almost like 6'2"
Yeah. I've seen the picture. He looks really tall.
And so I'm up to his armpit. So I'm always looking at his armpit.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, but they speak English there. They learn English in school, and you'll stick out. But there's a lot of Americans who visit.
Yes,
so.
yeah. And interracial marriages and couples are so common in the Filipino community. I mean, I'm dating a Caucasian myself, and he's not as tall as yours, but he's about 6 foot, and I'm just like, like looking at. But it's funny because he talks about how he wants to just kind of live there for a couple of months and work there, and he's like, oh, maybe we can just like live there and move there and not come back to the U.S. because it must be so much cheaper there. I was like, well, they do still kind of charge like American prices in certain places, especially the malls. Yeah. So well, no, that's really awesome. And do you feel any responsibility to the Philippines in any way?
I really don't,
And that's okay.
Because I mean, I'm just so Americanized. It's just I can't see my role in what I could do in the Philippines. I mean, yes, I do have family members back there, and we're Facebook friends, and they, it seems like they've made a life for themselves there. But it's not like as much as my mom's responsibility. Her felt a responsibility because they would call her every week. I need money. My tricycle broke down. This broke down. We can't pay for this, or we need school. So, I mean, my responsibility is not as like my parents, where my dad would bring his family and my mom would send money over.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like if not you, your family has fulfilled the roles of like feeling responsible to the Philippines. More importantly, like your family there and serving them. So, do they still do that? Do they still welcome relatives to go to their home and kind of go through that transition? Or?
I think most of them are here now.
Oh, okay, awesome.
And so, I mean, and if they needed a place to stay, I'm sure they have open rooms now because my sister and I aren't living there anymore.
Right.
So they have room for them if they need to.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
There's always an open door there.
Yeah, open door policy, which is definitely for a lot of Filipino homes, especially. So we have a couple of comments in the room. I think your hubby chatted in. Is that Tom Hiatt? Says you look really beautiful on the 65-inch TV.
Oh boy.
So is she on the big screen TV right now at home? That is so funny. Are your kids watching, by the way?
Probably watching.
Yeah? Okay, so he says, you look really beautiful. We are all watching. Great job, Melissa. Sincerely, the whitest white guy who loves lumpia and balut. Well, shout out to you.
Yes. He did eat balut.
I haven't even eaten balut yet, so kudos to you, man.
He was at we were at a 4th of July party. Somebody brought balut, and he started to pick it up, and they're like, no, that's not cooked.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, you were about to eat a raw balut. Somebody cooked it, and he opened it up, the gray, and it was gross. He ate it, and he's like, it's not so bad. He's like, I knew there was a chicken there.
Yeah, okay, really? So why don't you tell us, Tom, a little bit more about like that experience, if you can comment. But I haven't tried it yet. All I know is that it's really salty and like...
Not salty.
Is it? Okay, I haven't tried it yet.
a little bit saline-ish.
Okay. Who else? I mean, if you guys have also tried balut, just mention in the comments below and kind of describe to me what your experience is like, because I'm afraid. I mean, I'm, in my whole life of being a Filipino, I've never eaten a balut. So I just, quail eggs I've eaten, because in the Philippines, my family had a quail house, so they bred it, which is really awesome. And so quail eggs are really delicious.
Yes,
we definitely haven't tried balut. So Tom says, is it Tom or
Tom?
Tom. Okay. So he says, bring it on. Just tastes like yolk. So good to know.
And my husband's an adventurous eater, so he'll eat pretty much anything.
Yeah. So Laura actually says here, and I think everyone can interpret this differently, but she's asking, what does Americanize mean? So what do you think that means to you?
Just, I guess, assimilating to the way of life here,
right.
Where you have a job, you are pretty much independent, and you enjoy just the music of America, the foods, and I think that's pretty much it. I mean, America is changing, because all these different cultures are coming together, and there's fusion food, and I guess America, United States is just such a melting pot that we're accepting of all different cultures, and that, I mean, even just going to like a Mexican place feels Americanized.
Right. Yeah. It's like any culture it's just so mixed now, and it's not really. I kind of like to describe it like cooking. I don't cook, but when I see my boyfriend cook, it's like there's you have your broccoli, your carrots, your chicken, or this and that, and it's kind of like representative of the different cultures that are in America. But when you mix it all together and you add a little bit of garlic and onion, and then you eat it all, it's so delicious. Yes. And I think that's like what America is just delicious. Of like so many different cultures coming together, and some of us are mixed. I know Angela is a mestiza, but even then, if we're like full Filipino, we have that American side as well, and then we have the culture of being a woman, and there's just so many, and I think it makes us all beautiful and in our own way. So Elizabeth recommended that we have a Filipino American woman balut tasting party.
Yes.
So actually, let me talk to you and I think Laura and Angela about this, because I think the three of you are event coordinators, or you like to put together events. But I'm thinking we should totally do that. I think that would be a really awesome idea. So if you want to do that, just give us a like, let us know in the comments, because we can do that. And so interesting thing. So Laura's take on being Americanized. She says, I usually hear the term used in a negative connotation.
Interesting.
So that's really interesting, Laura. If you can elaborate that in the comments, and we'll kind of refer back to that. So Elizabeth says yes, she's excited to have a balut. So thank you for bringing that up, because I'm only going to have balut if you guys do, just so we know. Just so you know. Okay, so I can't even believe this, but we are already like 10 minutes to the hour.
Oh, okay.
So we have had such an incredible conversation. I want to thank you all for just chiming in and being a part of this. And so in wrapping up, there's just a couple more questions I wanted to ask. But in your personal experience, from what you know and your wisdom and just kind of your life, how would you define the Filipino American woman?
I thought about this question, and it's so hard to define because we have different experiences.
Yes, very true.
But I always look at it that we've seen what our parents went through.
Yes,
and,
I agree.
A Filipino American woman sees the immigrant experience. They have the front row seat to that, and they understand that their parents brought them here for a better life.
Right.
And I think there's always a desire to leave a place better than when you started.
Yeah, and I so agree with you.
And I would define a Filipino American woman just trying to achieve that, trying to achieve a life better than what their parents wanted.
Yeah.
For them, so.
Oh, I think that's well said. And sometimes, at least with my dynamic with my mom, she wasn't very like eloquent with her words all the time. She was very blunt and to the point. But looking back, I realized that, she was in this position where she couldn't say so many words, because her family was very, very strict. And so kind of seeing how she was raised and what I grew up to be, I thought, wow, like my mom has given me this opportunity, whether she knows it or not, to speak up and to be articulate and to share not just my story, but her story. Or my story is being told because she paved the way for me,
Right.
you know?
Uh-huh.
So I think that was just beautifully said. It's like, no, it's like you essentially said is, you know where you came from, and you don't take it for granted,
Right.
you know, and you know the sacrifices your parents made and everything. So I just think that's beautifully said. Now, if let's say that in the room there's a Filipino American woman that, you know, possibly needs some inspiration right now. Do you have anything you want to say to them? Sometimes I always like to say too is like, you know, if you're talking to your younger self, so whatever inspirational message you want to speak out to whoever you know you're thinking of as a Filipino American woman.
Gosh, I'd say you are enough. You know, you are enough.
That's good.
That you are who you are because your parents, God made you that way, and that don't think otherwise. Don't listen to the naysayers. Don't be held by any stigmas. You are as much as you want to be.
Oh, I love that. You are enough. You're enough.
You're enough.
You're enough. It's all good. You're enough. I love that, and it's so like it's just 3 words, but it's so impactful. And I think that's beautiful because I was recently talking to a girlfriend, like a couple of my girlfriends in their young 20s. You know, they're still going through that I'm not good enough, you know, kind of phase because of the inner voices that were kind of shaped by maybe people in their environment. You know, so I just think it's beautiful for you to say that. Let's see, I see. Oh, it's so funny. So Laura, this is like off topic, but Laura says, "Balut." I don't know how to pronounce that. Balatong, bibingka, and banana leaves with some baon to take home. So it sounds like we're going to have a potluck
Oh my God.
for this get-together, so I guess we'll talk more about that soon, so stay tuned. And before I wrap up, is there anything that you think I should be asking you for the show? I always want to, you know, improve and make sure that we cover everything that we should cover. And then also, if you're watching, if there's any other questions that we should be asking Melissa, please comment before we wrap up. But did you have anything that you think I should be asking you?
No, I don't.
All right. Well, then that covers that.
Sorry.
And so before we wrap up, I want to go ahead and just kind of give a shout out to a couple of the people that have been in the room. We want to give a shout out to Kala, Kahla. Kayla.
Hi, Kayla.
Thank you. I'm sorry for butchering your name, but Melissa has got my back on this, so thank you. Angela Furch, Furchel Ramos. Furchel actually introduced me to a ton of people in our community, so shout out to you. You were such a great contribution to this group, even though I'm probably never going to interview you, just, you know, there's so many people.
You're a dude.
Yeah, sorry, no dudes allowed. But, you know, obviously a lot of us are supported by our men, or, you know, there's a lot of people behind the scenes that are helping, and so, you know, even if it's just to contribute for a little bit. So shout out to you, Furch, even for being here. To my friend Mike Blair, Elizabeth, Gerard, Manicus. Yes, so shout out to you as well. So thank you everyone for just being here. Kayla says hi in the comments. Thank you, Elizabeth, for saying great job. It means so much to us. And so with that said, I just want to thank you all. Before I wrap up, I want to also... Furch is Furch. If you're watching this right now, you are an honorary Filipino American woman. And so before we wrap up, you know, please take the time to visit our page and learn how to put your settings in place so you know how to get notified whenever we have another Facebook Live show. Also, while you're here, if you like what you hear, please leave us a review. Tell us how you like it and if you want to hear more. And also, if you feel called, if you're looking at us and you're like, I have a story to share, you know, or I have, because I know Melissa initially didn't even want to share her story, so I just want to thank you. You know, like, time is precious, time is a gift, and it means so much when people just take the time to be here and share their story. Because it takes courage, first of all, to believe that you have a story, and then it takes courage to tell your story. So thank you so much for that. So if you feel called, or you know someone that should be in our seats right now sharing their story, please, you know, message us, let us know. And so let's just wrap up with Melissa. Thank you for your time. How do people find you in case they want to get a hold of you, or even your business, you know?
Okay, my business is called Faith and Marketing. We do a lot of marketing for a lot of faith-based organizations, faithandmarketing.com.
That's awesome.
And my blog is makingitsweet.com.
Awesome, great. And so Tom recommended that we close with a prayer.
Okay.
So would you like to do
Sure.
that? And
okay.
could you lead it?
Yes.
I'm not as eloquent. I'm sure Melissa's very eloquent. So
okay.
All right, let's go ahead.
Lord, we ask you to bless everybody who is watching and bless all who are here. We also want you to look over all Filipinos and Filipino American women and everybody on your green earth, and just give us hope and give us peace. And we ask for your Holy Spirit to come upon us and be comforted in you. Amen.
Amen. Awesome. Well, thank you, Tom, for that recommendation. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And we look forward to seeing you soon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you again, Melissa, for being here. It means so much to me, and I'm sure to other Filipino American women. So, bye, everyone.
Bye.
Enjoy the rest of your day.